In this video, we're going to be talking about why I think the Zhiyun M20C is much better than the Aputure MC Pro. The first reason is light output. So the Zhiyun M20C boasts 20 watts of sheer power. So right now it is at 1%, but once I boost it up all the way to 100%, it is super duper bright. And if I light up another one, so as you can see, my background now is fully illuminated by two pocket-sized lights that can output 20 watts, whereas the Aputure MC Pro can only output 5 watts of power. So these lights right here can output 20 watts of full brightness for about 30 to 40 minutes, which is amazing. But if you want to extend the runtime of these two lights even more, you could just grab a power bank and a Type-C cable and power it that way while you are using them, which is one of the strengths of these lights. They can actually be used while charging. So the second reason why the Zhiyun M20C is much better than the Aputure MC Pro is that it comes with different modifiers. So the first modifier that you have is the diffuser. So this already comes with a soft diffusion panel in front, but this diffuses the light even further. So the light now is going to be much softer opposed to not having the diffuser. It's going to be very harsh, so when it hits your subject, it's not going to be as flattering. So the second modifier that comes with this kit is the honeycomb grid. So the main use of this is to direct the light. So instead of letting this light spill all over the place, if I put this on, it's going to be more frontal. It's going to light everything that is in front of it. And the last modifier that we have are the barn doors right here. So if I attach it now, you can direct the light even more. This one, you can just open the doors as you wish. If you want to direct it more towards your subject, you can point it like that. If you want it to spill all over the background, you can just open the barn doors, or you can just remove the barn doors completely. We're playing with magnets, by the way, and the magnets on this are very strong. They're not just going to fall off on you. So the third strength of this light right here is heat management or heat dissipation. So I've heard reports from other users of the Aputure MC Pro is that the light can get a little bit too hot to touch. So Zhiyun really took heat management seriously, because when they thought about the body, as you can see, not only did they put a fan, there are vents everywhere. There's a vent here, there's a vent on the top, there's a vent on the sides. So just in case you are not using the fan or the fan did not kick in, it's still going to manage or dissipate heat well, because there are just vents everywhere. Because the last thing you want is use your light outdoors and it overheats and you can't even use it, right? I've had a couple of pocket RGB lights that would just switch off because the device would get too hot, especially when you plug it in. When you're using this while it's charging, it's going to get hot. So the fan is really going to come in clutch when you're using it for a long amount of time or a long period of time. It's really going to help you, and it's not going to switch off on you just because it's overheating. So the fourth reason why I think the Zhiyun M20C is definitely much better than the Aputure MC Pro is riggability. And let me show you what I mean by riggability. So let's pretend you have your camera body, right? If you were to put a light on top, usually that's it, right? You're not going to be able to put anything else on top unless you use a cage. But for this, the cage right here is surrounded with different cold shoe mounts, which allows you to mount more than just the light on top of your camera. So this is what it will look like if you have one single M20C on. Let's pretend you want to add one more. So if you have two M20Cs, you can simply screw it on like this. Now you have something like this. So if you switch everything on, looks something like this, right? Now you have like a bigger light now because of its modularity or its riggability. Let's pretend you want to add a microphone, maybe here, so you're closer to the microphone port. You can screw it onto a little tripod, which is not included, sadly. You could buy this separately, by the way. And one more important thing that I forgot to mention is that the back part of the cage has a built-in magnet over here. You can see that part. This one can attach to any magnetic surface, just like that. So the fifth and last reason why I think the Zhiyun M20C is much better than the Aputure MC Pro is that this looks more professional than that light. Because if you look at this run right here, you can right away see, although it's cheaper than the MC Pro, it looks a lot better than the MC Pro, right? Because of just how it looks, how organic it looks, plus the modifiers that come with it does not just make it look more professional, but it changes the way the light interacts with your subject, right? So all in all, I think this has more or much better value in its package than the MC Pro. So for every piece of gear that I review, I always try to look for cons, right? So I've only found 2 cons when it comes to this light. So the first is regarding powering it using a power bank. So right now, you can see the light is switched on, correct? So if I were to use a power bank with a USB Type-C cable, watch this. If I were to plug it in, it's going to switch off for a while and switch back on. So this isn't really going to be a big problem as long as you take a break between shots or sets, or you could just pre-plug it before you even start the shoot. And the second con that I have for this light is not really a big deal, but let me show you. So if I were to remove the cage from the body of the light, you get something much smaller, right? The light now just looks like this. So the only downside of having everything more compact by removing the cage and the accessories is that you lose the riggability. Not only the riggability when it comes to the modifiers, but the cold shoe attachments or any attachments for that matter. Because this light does not have any mounting options or magnets on the body itself. So if you want to attach this to a camera or to anything else, a light stand, you're gonna have to really put this onto the cage. And then you get the 3/8 thread, you get the little cold shoes on the top, the left and the right. My final thoughts about this light is that it is much better than the Aputure MC Pro. Plus that thing is a lot more expensive than this, and you get less things than what comes with the Zhiyun M20C combo package, right? So it's up to you guys at the end of the day, whatever you prefer. If you prefer the Zhiyun M20C or the Aputure MC Pro, but I'm leaning a little bit towards the Zhiyun M20C. So that is it for me, guys. If you have any further questions regarding the Zhiyun M20C, please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.